Okay, let's get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay, hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. Welcome to another episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. My name is Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. And thank you for tuning in. All right? Thank you for tuning in. Today, our topic, we're going to be talking about how to not lose your green card. We don't want you to lose your green card. Okay? And I don't mean lose it by misplacing it. I mean like getting it taken from you by immigration. And we don't want that to happen to you. And so we want to fight about a green card. Once we've got it, like let's hang on to that thing and let's not let immigration take it away. So welcome. Thank you for being here. As always, the Empowered Immigrant Live is here to train, teach, inspire, and empower immigrants to make the most out of immigration laws and to make the most out of their lives. All right? Today, our theme is don't lose your green card. Don't get it taken from you. Don't get it confiscated from you. All right? And how to not do that. And my question, if you have a green card, hey, let's tune in about it. If you are applying for a green card, it's important for you to know this. And if you don't have a green card, let's strategize ways to get one. Let's strategize how we can put you through an immigration process so that you don't have to live in fear, so that you can come out of the shadows, so that you can fix your immigration case once and for all. And if you're in that situation and you want to navigate the immigration system, or at least you want good advice about it, I'd love to help you with that. My firm is here to help you with that. Our firm is on a mission to win 10,000 immigration cases in the next 10 years. We would love for your case to be one of them. All right? So thanks for everyone who's tuning in right now. As I talk about this topic, if you have questions, send me your questions. I will do my very best to answer them all. Okay? And so let's get to it. It is the, what day is it? It's the 6th of March of 2025 is the day that I'm recording this. And so thanks to everybody on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. Thanks to everybody for tuning in right now, and that's the date that I'm recording this. As of today's date, Trump has been back in office for 6 weeks, folks, 6 weeks out of 4 years. And there's a lot of changes, and there's a lot of movement, all right? And part of my job and part of the job of our office is to keep our clients informed as there's changes, as there's movement happening. And that's part of what we're doing. That's part of what these episodes are all about. So as I'm talking, if you have questions, great, submit them. And if you find this content useful and helpful, please do me a huge favor and go to our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. All right? And that's the best way for you to receive updates when we upload additional videos and things of that nature. And that's the best way to stay in communication as all these changes develop. Okay? In the last 6 weeks, since Trump has come back into power, there's been a lot of changes. All right? The Laken-Riley Act was signed into law, which makes certain immigrants subject to mandatory detention. ICE has started arresting people. They've got a quota. They're working up to arresting 1,200 people every day, with their goal of eventually being able to arrest 1,800 people every day. And so that's crazy, and that's happening. The Senate and the House have approved Trump's budget for deportations. Trump announced recently a new gold card, which for me is ridiculous because there's already an EB-5 program in place that allows people to essentially buy a green card. Just recently, there was a new requirement for registration. Okay, so undocumented folks who have never been on immigration's radar before have there's been notice at least that there's going to be a requirement and a process. That process is not live right now. We don't have more information about it. But let me tell you, as soon as we have better information about it, we will be sharing that information. And I'd love for you to subscribe to our channel and our content so that you can get that information once we have it. All right. There's lots of other news happening. Guantanamo has been opened for immigration detainees. They've cut off federal funding to all immigration-related programs, including immigration-related programs for children, which there's a lot of. That's really concerning. All right, and last week, the Dream and Promise Act of 2025 was introduced in the House, which we will be following that also, right? That's maybe the best news that we have right now, all right? We'll be monitoring that, and we'll see what happens there. All right, so generally speaking, amidst all of this noise and amidst everything that's happening, generally speaking, green cards are safe, all right? That's why they're so valuable. That's why they're so helpful. That's why they're so important, right? What is a green card? A green card means that a person, it's evidence of a person's status in the United States, and that their status is that of a quote-unquote lawful permanent resident. It is a permanent status that grants someone authorization to live and work and travel in and out of the United States. All right? That's what a green card is. Generally speaking, immigration law, there's visas, there's green cards, there's asylum, all right? There's U.S. citizenship, and there's removal defense. Those are like the big 5 types of services, all right? There's other stuff too, TPS, DACA. There's other things that are involved with immigration law. But if we compare visas and green cards, just to give you perspective, right? Visas, it's like, yeah, visas are good. They give you a permit to enter the United States for a temporary purpose, for a temporary time, and for a specific purpose. All right? Visas are good. Green cards are 1,000 times better. Okay? They're 1,000 times better. Why? Because visas are temporary and for a specific purpose. Green cards are permanent and for any lawful purpose. Got it? Green cards, it's like, how can I explain this? Green cards, they're just a stupid piece of plastic that goes in your wallet, folks. That's what the card is. It's a stupid piece of plastic that goes in your wallet. But it grants a person a level of freedom in their life that maybe they've never experienced before. All right? It allows people the freedom to work wherever they want and live wherever they want and travel as they want and basically be wherever they want to be. All right? It's freedom. It is priceless. It is golden. So much so that every day I have people coming in, consult after consult after consult with the question of, how can I get a green card? All right? Green cards matter. They're important. And so because of that, once you have a green card, oh man, let's not lose it. Let's not have it get taken away from us. All right? Because all of the freedoms that come along with it. And so that's what we're talking about today. Okay? There are people, I have clients who on re-entry to the U.S., the government took away their green card, put them into deportation proceedings, and now we're fighting that case in court. All right? I have those clients. That happens. Okay? And we want to avoid that. I have clients who, after having a green card, had some arrest or had some issue, and now they're in deportation proceedings having to fight for that green card. All right? To not lose it. All right? And so I want to just be like, that's what our conversation's about today. All right? You can protect and defend your green card. If the government tries to take away a green card, they will send you to immigration court proceedings, deportation proceedings. All right? They will allege that you violated the terms of your green card. Just because they allege that doesn't mean it's necessarily so, right? Doesn't mean it's true. So just because the government alleges somebody violated the terms of their green card, sometimes we can fight just on that basis and say, you know something, Your Honor, the government's alleging this, but they're wrong, right? And here's why. And here's why we're submitting what we call a motion to terminate, to get this case out of immigration court and get that green card back. Okay? And so, anyway, so that happens. Here's what you need to know about how to keep your green card, how to not lose your green card, how to not have a problem with your green card. Okay? So, if you leave, I've got 6 things for you today. All right? Number 1, if you leave the U.S., never leave the U.S. for more than 6 months. All right? Unless you apply for a re-entry permit or unless you understand precisely your plan. I mean, if it's 6 months and a day, then you shouldn't lose your green card over that, but it'll make it more complicated when you're coming back in. Anytime a green card holder is out of the United States for more than 180 days, that person must be readmitted back into the U.S., which means they've got to be subject to all the laws of inadmissibility, which, generally speaking, you don't want to have to go through that whole legal analysis. It's better to just be welcomed back in, right? So when you leave the U.S., do not leave for more than 6 months. Okay? Item number 2, if you won your green card through asylum, my best advice is do not go back to your home country. Don't go back to your home country without talking it through with your lawyer, without really understanding the potential consequences. Why? Because when you win asylum, you're saying that your life is in danger in your home country. And so now if you're traveling back to your home country, yes, you've won your green card. I understand that. But still, it's like you're coming back in and immigration's going to be looking at that and being like, wait a second, did you lie on your asylum case? If you said you were afraid, how are you traveling back? Anyway, number 2 is if you won your green card through asylum, don't go back to your home country with very narrow exceptions. All right? And you can talk those through with your lawyer. All right. Item number 3, don't commit any criminal offense. All right? Don't get arrested. If you have a criminal record, all right? If you have a criminal record, you still have rights. All right? You still have a case. You can still fight about it. But talk it through with your lawyer and do not leave the United States. I had a call one time from family members of a former client of mine who were calling our office saying, hey, my sister is being detained by immigration, but she has a green card. She's being detained. She's subject to detention. We want to get her out of detention, but she's got a green card. Why? Because she had had an arrest back way before, long ago, and now she's facing this whole new process just because she traveled after that arrest. Anyway, number 3 is avoid arrests, avoid law enforcement, don't commit any criminal offense, and if you have a criminal record, talk it through with a lawyer before you travel outside the country. All right? Number 4, don't do anything that could make you quote-unquote deportable. All right? Deportable. So deportability is a big topic. I've got videos about it. It's all defined in Section 237 of the Immigration Nationality Act. And what am I talking about here? What I'm talking about is don't say that you're a U.S. citizen when you're not. Don't vote unlawfully, right? Permanent residents aren't allowed to vote anyway. Don't vote, right? Don't have anything to do with illegal drugs, narcotics, including marijuana. All right. Yes, marijuana is quote unquote legalized in certain states, not for federal purposes, not for immigration purposes. Don't touch it. All right. Don't help any other person enter the U.S. without permission. Right. All of these things, and there's a whole bunch more, and we have guides and and videos about deportability. If you have any questions about that, please reach out, right? Anyway, avoid all that stuff. Number 5 is renew your green card. Renew the actual card within 6 months of its expiration. Pretty straightforward. And lastly, number 6, pay your taxes, pay alimony and child support if you have those requirements, and be able to demonstrate you're a person of quote-unquote good moral character to maximize your future citizenship process. All right? Those are the 6 that I wanted to go through today. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. If you're just tuning in right now, my name is Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. And now I'll stop talking about my topic, and I want to answer your questions. Okay? So if you have questions about your immigration case or about anything I've said today, please send me your questions, and yeah, we will answer them. I'll do my best to answer them. All right? So all right. So user 837, how much is your consultations? Good question. Our consultations depend a little bit on your situation. What I say on our website and what I say to most people is that it's $350. All right? And in certain instances, we can do a discount based on the facts of your case and our bandwidth. And so feel free to give us a call. We give a free evaluation with my intake team, which are highly trained and they're awesome, and they can help guide you. All right, as to whether or not you have a case that our office could even help you with, and whether or not it's worth your time, money, etc., to have a consultation with our team. Okay? So then, the way Dagoon, I see your question here. Thank you so much. You say, is MPIP available? Military parole in place. Is it still available? Yes, it is. As of today's date, yes, it is. And we've all seen pushback about military parole in place. The Trump administration has, and Republicans generally, don't really like parole in place. They've suggested undoing it. And so if you have a case for parole in place, and if that's going to be the thing that allows you to get a green card, because you have a child who's in the U.S. military, for example, or a spouse who's in the military, I would recommend doing that as soon as possible. Okay? N-Rod number 1. All right, thank you. You say, I cried when I got my green card and I was able to visit my family after 27 years. Thank you so much. All right, thank you so much for saying that. Yeah. Yeah, we have so many cases where it's like it's so impactful. It's such a joyous thing to finally be able to adjust your status, to finally be able to come out of the shadows and to get a green card and to have that level of freedom. It can change your life. All right. And so anyway, thank you for saying that, Rod, and thank you for being here. And I'm really glad that you got your green card, right? Shernan, okay, Biden parole in place was canceled and fees are being refunded. Was now with people. What is your question? I don't understand what your question is. Was now. So maybe clarify what the precise question is. Yes, all of this is accurate, and I do not know whether or not those fees have come in yet. Whether or not we've actually received those refunds from the government. right? I don't, to my knowledge, that has not happened. But it might have, let me know if anybody out there has received the refund to your bank account. Okay? They were announced that they would be under the Biden administration, and now we've got a Trump administration. So I'm not 100% sure where the government has fallen on that issue also. So anyway, that's something to keep our eyes on. All right, Mr. Smith, I see your question here. What is the actual cost for Form I-766 when filed concurrently with Form I-485? Do you mean the I-765, which is the request for a work permit? Because normally you do not file Form I-766. I-766. Yeah, it's the I-765. Yeah, I don't know what the I-766 is. So what's the actual cost when you file it concurrently with the I-485? So let me get you that. If it's a marriage-based case, it's a discounted fee. I actually have it. All right. Folks, if you're watching on video right now, this is something that I built. All right, this is a binder. It's how I explain visually every single law that we deal with in our firm, so that I can explain cancellation of removal. Sorry, the video is not capturing it very clearly. The I-765, when submitted with an adjustment of status, is $260. Okay. Anyway, legal processes binder that I've put together helps me give good advice in the middle of my consultation. So if a client comes in and is meeting with me, I can answer basically any question regarding the law. Not 1,000% of the time, but 99.5% of the time. All right. And so anyway, so yeah, that's the cost, $260 when it's filed through a marriage-based adjustment of status application, absent other, absent any other change or process. Okay. If that's the type of case that you're talking about, a marriage-based adjustment of status, you're filing it with the I-130 and the I-485 in a one-step adjustment of status. Okay. Giselle, I see your question here. Has the 30 days started for the alien registration requirement, or is it still in question? It is still in question. Thank you for asking that. All right, thank you for asking that. There is no process as of today's date as to how to register. So don't anybody register. Don't do it, all right? And we'll wait and get better guidance and really understand how to advise people around that requirement. All right. CJ Fab. Is a green card holder via asylum allowed to use their passport for international travel to other countries? Yes, they are. All right, yes. And you should also get a refugee travel document, because just because you can use your passport to travel internationally to other countries doesn't mean you have a permit to re-enter the United States. To re-enter the United States, you got to get a refugee travel document. And that's done on Form I-131, and it's a process. All right, do that if you want asylum. I mean, if you have a green card, I see what you're saying. If you have a green card, then yes, you're okay. You're doing it right. Okay? All right, user 849. I have a concealed weapon misdemeanor, and when I got out of county jail, I had an immigration hold, but they, let's see here, where's the rest of your question here? Sorry, sometimes the questions they go up very fast. It makes it hard for me to see everything. So, okay, well, I understand your situation, though. You had a misdemeanor. There was an immigration hold on you. The question is, did they actually detain you? Did they actually NTA you? Are they taking away your immigration status? Do you have current immigration status? If you have any questions like this, my best advice would be to have a consultation, and let's really see what happened there and what the best strategy will be to help you navigate that situation. All right. Let's see. Emi Kahi, I see your question. My VAWA case was approved. Can I file for my children? Yes. Your VAWA case was approved. Were your children included in your VAWA case? Because yes. We've done that. We've actually we had a case where we won the mom's, let me see if I get this right. We won the mom's VAWA as an I-360, but the mom wasn't eligible to get a green card. But we also won VAWA for her children, and her children were eligible to get green cards. Okay, so the mom is renewing her work permit through VAWA, and she will for the rest of her life. She's not admissible, and she's not eligible for a green card through VAWA because of things that I won't go into right now. But her children are. Okay? And so the answer to your question, Emmy, is that yes, right? And hopefully they were included in your original VAWA case. And if they weren't, then I would say talk to a lawyer, talk to an immigration lawyer who knows what they're doing, and really look at what happened for your children and how to file for them. I mean, another factor is, are your children in the United States or are they not? I mean, we would need to understand that. But yeah, All right. ESSZZ9. All right. ESAZ 9. Can I request for an RFE, delay a work permit after biometrics? Yes. Yes. Yeah, RFE is delay the process, right? So yes, the best advice is get that RFE responded to and back on track, and then yes, and then you'll be back in line for your for everything regarding your case, including the work permit. Okay. Let's see, Mark Y2510, is it normal to be scheduled for biometrics even before the I-485 is approved? It's normal and it's required that happens, all right? So there's nothing to, yes, that's the way it is. The government has to run your biometrics before they can approve an I-485 because they have to do background checks to make sure that you're quote-unquote admissible, right? So yes. Very normal. It has to be that way. Let's see. CJ Fab. Let's see. Is a green card via asylum? Okay, I already read that one. Okay. American Pendu. Yes. USCIS has refunded me for Biden PIP. Oh, cool. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad that happened. If there's anybody out there that applied for Biden PIP that didn't get a refund, I'd love to hear that. All right, let me know. Okay, Laura USHN, all right? What's the use in trying to start a process when your name will be entered and you may be targeted? It depends on what process it is, right? It depends on what process it is. So yeah, you're right. Your name will be entered. In some cases, you've got to submit your address. In some cases, you've got to send a lot of information about you. And what's the use in it? Well, it's really useful if you can win a case because of it. All right, but that's always the question, right? Is there a case that could benefit you, right? And that's where we need to get lawyers involved to see, okay, is there a benefit? Is there, let's weigh the pros and cons. Okay? Let's see. Those are all the questions that I am seeing right now on my end. I see some more here on TikTok. All right. Let's see here. Immigration released me. Can I become a citizen? It depends. All right. So user 489. Oh, maybe you're the same one that answered the question earlier. Concealed weapon misdemeanor. Out of the country. You were put on. Okay, I got you. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying this. Okay, so you're saying, so there was an arrest that happened, all right? There was a misdemeanor conviction that happened, and now there was an ICE detainer, but they didn't detain you, it sounds like, and now the question is, can you become a citizen? If you have a green card if you've had your green card for 5 years, if you're otherwise eligible for citizenship. The question is does the criminal record make you quote unquote deportable or put your citizenship process at risk in any way? All right. And so sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. If it does, I would say don't do it under the current administration. The way to know, the way to give you good advice, all right, the way to give you good advice is to have a consultation and to really look and to do the full analysis of the misdemeanor concealed weapon conviction, including we got to know which state it was in, the date of the conviction, exactly how it was charged, exactly how much time was served on it, etc. We got to know all those details in order to really give you good advice as to when you should apply for citizenship, whether or not citizenship is a good idea, whether or not you should do it under the current administration. The current administration has released a memo, right? A policy memo. This came out just like last week, saying that people that apply for citizenship who have crimes that are deportable offenses are going to be NTA'd. Okay? They're not going to approve the citizenship. They're going to send those people to immigration court. And that was not happening under the Biden administration. And so you want to be cautious. Do the full analysis to see if that crime makes you deportable or quote unquote subject to deportability. All right. So let's see. Montoya Rocher, I see your question here. Once I have a green card, does my past criminal record affect me for citizenship? Similar question. Yes, it can affect you for citizenship. And I hope, and that's probably true, that you included that information at the time of your green card. Okay? The only way that, well, I should say it like this. Sometimes immigration makes mistakes when they grant a green card, right? So as long as that didn't happen and you were actually admissible despite the arrest, then you should be okay to apply for citizenship as long as you're a quote-unquote person of good moral character in the last 5 years. Okay? Still, my best advice is to have a detailed consultation where you really review the criminal record carefully before deciding whether or not to apply for citizenship. Okay? So, good. All right. Cash money. Hey, do you think the Trump $5 million visa is a good idea? Serious question. Thank you. Do I think it's a good idea? I think it's silly. Okay? So my answer to your question is I think it's superfluous. I think it's silly. I think it's unnecessary because the EB-5 program already exists that allows a person to invest $1 million in the United States. They have to employ 10 workers. There's some exceptions around that. All right, for 2 years, they got to employ 10 workers, full-time salaried workers for 10 years with a $1 million cash injection into the investment into the U.S. economy, and they can get a green card. That's a program that's been in place for years, and it's called the EB-5 investment-based immigration green card. Okay? And so a $5 million green card, it's kind of like that makes it actually more difficult, right, than the EB-5 program right now that already exists. And so why would anyone do a $5 million investment when they can get the same benefit already for a $1 million investment? As I see it, it's like maybe Trump doesn't understand that the EB-5 program exists, right? It's like, I don't know what he's thinking. It doesn't compute. It's silly. All right? I think he's just trying to make headlines it's really my opinion about it. But thank you for asking. All right, so how to request humanitarian reinstatement. Oh, thank you for asking this question. Your Grace, thank you for asking this question. COVID halted the process and the petitioner passed away. Here's the way it works, folks. Normally, when the petitioner dies, all right, when the petitioner dies, the petition dies too. All right? If a father, if a mother files a petition for their children, right, and then the petitioner, the father or the mother, passes away, their petition dies too, with an exception. There's an exception called humanitarian reinstatement, where you ask the government for humanitarian instances, for humanitarian needs, let's please reinstate that petition. All right, my office has done this and won this a few times. Not a ton of times, maybe like 6 times over the years. All right, it's not easy to do, right? And it's a lot of back and forth with different parts of the different agencies of immigration. And it can be possible. Okay, how do you request it if that's your question? It depends on if you're filing through the consulate because the beneficiaries are overseas, or if you're filing it as an adjustment of status. If it's an adjustment of status case because the beneficiaries are here and they entered lawfully on a visa, right, then you file it under what's called 204L of the Immigration Nationality Act, all right? And you put that in your cover letter as you're applying for the adjustment of status. That's the easier way to do it, all right? If it's through the embassies abroad, it's more complicated. You do it through the National Visa Center. They pass it on to the consulate in your home country, and it's a process. All right, anyway, I hope that's useful. I'm really sorry to hear that you're in that situation, that the petitioner passed away in your case. It's really, it's sad, and it's wonderful when we can still get a green card, because it's like, sometimes it's like your parents' legacy. Even though they're passed away, you can still get a green card through them. But the government has to agree, and it's not, anyway, it can be horrible when those cases get denied. It can be wonderful when they get approved. All right, can I give up my U.S. citizenship for Mexican citizenship? Crivera. So talk it through. Yes, legally you can do that. We call it repatriation when you formally relinquish, give up U.S. citizenship. So yes, it is possible to do it. You really want to think it through, though, because there's a lot of consequences, right? There's a lot of consequences to that. And so, but yes, technically, I'm not going to go through all of that right here, right now, but legally speaking, yes, it's possible, okay? All right. Not wise to do it if you're just doing it to avoid taxes. So anyway, that's one consideration. I'm running out of time. It's 11 o'clock. My goodness. All right. So I'll answer a few more questions here. In California, is it safe to file a police report? A missing EXPD passport for an undocumented person. I don't know what this... In California, if you're filing a police report to the local police, they do not share that information with ICE. So the quick answer, I don't understand your full question here for Dome. I don't understand your full question here, but the quick and dirty answer is yes, you're okay. Filing a police report in the state of California, the police does not share your information with ICE. Okay? That's part of the California Sanctuary Ordinance, like SB 54. You do not, your information is not passed on to ICE in the state of California. It's one of the benefits of living in the state of California for immigrants. All right? Let's see. So my probation, let's see here. King Savi. My probation ended in 2021. Can I apply for an N-400 now since USCIS is taking longer times? Really look at the nature of the offense, talk it through with a lawyer. Okay? So I'm not going to give a blanket response yes or no. I mean, you can submit the N-400, but there might be risks, right? And just because you're done with probation doesn't mean that that crime couldn't make you deportable. And so you really want to understand the true risks, costs, benefits, so that you can make a fully informed decision before deciding whether or not to file for citizenship. All right. Let's see, the Way Dragon, military parole in place. Yeah, I answered that question already. Yeah, it's still valid. You can still apply. If you're going to apply, I recommend doing it soon because it might go away. All right? Montoya Rocher, I was 17 when this happened. I'm now 37. Over 20 years. I have 3 years with a green card. Good. I don't know what your question is. There was something, you asked something else above. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Sorry, I don't see that. I feel like I've skipped some. Shoot. Anyway, I'll answer one more today because I got to start wrapping up, folks. I'm sorry, I have a little bit of technical difficulties here. Hi, I got married. This is Larry. I got married with a K-1 visa. How much time is it going to take to get my green card? So you got to get married within 90 days of entry on your K-1 on your fiancé visa. Then you apply for your I-485 after the marriage. All right? And that 485 is a regular marriage-based process. So it depends on your field office. All right? And right now, I'm saying like 8 months to a year is what we're seeing, okay? With some cases taking much longer than that. Like I have some adjustment of status cases that have taken over 3 years, but it depends on where in the country they are, and some cases have complications, right? Waivers involved, things of that nature. Okay. All right, folks, that's all I'm going to say for today. Thank you all so much for being here. I did want to share something. Yesterday, this is a big just congratulations to one of our clients, all right? This is a quick order that we got from an immigration judge, no, from the BIA, from the Board of Immigration Appeals, and we have a client who's detained, all right? He's detained. He was actually detained under the Biden administration. We filed a motion to reopen with a stay to keep him in the U.S. They were going to deport him, all right? The judge denied our motion to reopen, so we appealed. And yesterday, BIA ordered that case to be reopened, all right? And so that's like, okay, that's going to change the game for this client. And anyway, I wanted to share that. You know, sometimes things are possible even after a person is detained, but man, it's you gotta be working with lawyers who know what they're doing. You got to be working with lawyers and a team that are willing to drop everything and fight. All right? And anyway, I just wanted to share that. Like, things are possible, but you gotta be ready to fight. You got to be ready to fight sometimes. Don't give up, though. You know, that's part of the story. Don't give up. There's always things that can be attempted. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate each of you. My name is Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for being here. If this content was useful, if it was helpful, please subscribe to our channel in YouTube. All right, when you do that, hit the notification bell. You can be notified when we upload an additional video to YouTube. And if you speak Spanish, join us in Spanish in just a few moments. I'll do the same episode in Spanish. For current clients of my firm, if you are a current client of our firm, we have a client-only call this afternoon, 3 p.m., where we're going to discuss some of these updates and what our clients need to know about them. Okay, so please, I look forward to seeing you all there. And otherwise, thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on our next episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. Thanks a lot, everybody. Make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.